but she is mistreated and scarred. Facing this encumbered world, we aim to re-explore, to feel, to perceive, to create new possibilities. Therefore, we seek hope in natural materials and waste, in every mountain, every stream, and every pebble. To revamp, reconstruct, rebuild, and re-innovate. By making greener decisions, we can protect the environment, and the world can be a better place. Taiwan Excellence. Everyday excellence.
Okay, there you go, man. Everyday excellence, right? Excellence is not something you can compromise. Welcome everyone to this special edition of a Malaysia Kini and Taiwan Excellence collaboration. My name is Karamjit Singh. I'm from Digital News Asia, and I'm going to be your moderator for today. And we're going to take as many questions as we can that you bring to us and you want to have answered. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you, all right, towards a green future. Global Trends Taiwanese Insights webinar today. The webinar today is actually brought to you by Taiwan Excellence and is jointly organized by Malaysia Kini and Kini Events in conjunction, which is why this is actually being organized with the International Green Tech and Eco Products Exhibition and Conference Malaysia, IGEM 2022. By the way, IGEM 2022 is actually now 12 years old. I know because I was there back in 2010 for the first one. So it's a worthwhile event to go for. More so this year because Taiwan Excellence has an exciting booth there and lucky draw also to be won. So anyway, before that, for those of you who don't know about Taiwan Excellence, let me just spend about 2 minutes to brief you on what they're all about. And of course, they're all about excellence, but how did they get there, right? So this is the name that carries the honor of Taiwan's premium products. It is the symbol of recognizing outstanding and innovative products from that nation. Every year, the best products are shortlisted for Taiwan Excellence Award, and they pass through a stringent, right, and I'm not kidding, quality assurance process to get this seal of excellence. So whenever you buy a product that has the stamp, Taiwan Excellence, you know you're getting the best quality. Now, so striving for net zero sustainability is difficult, but it is one of the driving forces behind many Taiwanese enterprises and has continually spurred breakthroughs across different industries. And today we're going to dig deeper into the efforts and perspectives of two Taiwanese-based companies, Avatack Company Limited and HCP Pump Manufacturer, and how they've been developing sustainable products to meet clients' ESG demands and innovative solutions in curbing environmental issues, which is, of course, one of the key, concerns, facing planet Earth today, facing all of us. Before we proceed and bring on our guests, Anne and Frank, it is my honor, it is our honor to have Mr. T.S. Shamsul Baha Muhammad Noor, who's the CEO of the Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation, to say a few words.
Thank you, Karamjit. It's not corruption. To all participants, good morning. And also to the panelists today, Mr. Frank Huang from HCP Pump Manufacturer Company Limited, and Ms. Anne Chan from Avatack Company Limited. First, let me convey my appreciation again for inviting me to be part of today's webinar organized by Taiwan Excellence on Towards a Green Future, Global Trends and Taiwanese Insights, as well as thanking again Taiwan Excellence for being our gold sponsor for this year's International Green Tech and Eco Product Exhibition and Conferences Malaysia, or better known as iGEM. This year, yes, Karamjit is right. This year is the 13th edition of iGEM. And this year's theme is Race Towards Net Zero, Fulfilling Sustainable Development Goals and Environmental, Social and Corporate Governance, ESG commitments. We focus on our nation's ideals for balancing economic developments with environmental concerns to demonstrate Malaysia's seriousness and commitment to climate action. This is very much in line with Malaysia's commitment to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, and as one of the many steps in the nation's decarbonization process. iGEM 2022 serve as a bridge for green energy businesses and provide to bring to light the latest eco-solutions that can be implemented, and also as an avenue for the general public to learn and understand on green movement. For the past 2 years, due to the pandemic, we conducted iGEM virtually, and this year we are back with a bang, with a physical event. And for this year's iGEM, we'll be featuring 300 exhibition booths, and we are expecting almost more than 30,000 visitors and to generate business prospects estimated at 3 billion ringgit. We are also bringing in representatives from 30 countries, including Taiwan, Canada, Singapore, Australia, China, Netherlands, and Korea. Before I wrap up my welcoming speech, again, I would like to thank Taiwan Excellence for being part of this year's iGEM for the second year running, and thus fostering a partnership with MGTC. Thank you again, and have an excellent webinar. And yet, see you next week at KLCC for iGEM 2022. Back to you, Karamjit.
Thank you very much, Shamsul, and sorry about that, but amazing, right? I'm hearing from you, back with a bang. I'm hearing 300 exhibits, and thank you, Taiwan Excellence. I didn't know they were a key sponsor for this year's event. Fantastic, right? 3 billion ringgit worth of estimated, business to be generated. So it is absolutely an event everyone should go for, and I'm planning to be there also. I don't know which day, but I'm definitely going to be there. Look, now, before we start, just to set the stage, right? So if we can have the first slide up, and look, if all of you who are listening, if you just type in, I use Bing, I don't use Google. You use Bing, and I just type in keywords about sustainability and green. You get so many data points there. I'm just sharing with you this. This is developed by Yale University, which is one of the top universities in the world, right? Their Environmental Performance Index. They got 32 performance indicators they look at. And what strikes me is that, so Malaysia is not in the top 40, but obviously Taiwan is, right? The top 40 greenest countries in the world are all categorized as high income by the World Bank. So that's a bit concerning to think that, going green is going to be costly, and only countries which have the means, right, are able to move further ahead than others. Of course, like I think Shamsul said, Malaysia has this intention, this target of going to be net zero, right, by net carbon zero by 2050. So that's an ambitious target. All of us have to play a role in getting towards that. But it's just one of the many data points out there. You can search online for this, and there's a lot more information about this. Now, another interesting data point I just want to share with you also, that this one will show Shamsul that he and his team have a lot more work to do. So can I get the next visual up here? And this is a yearly index, right, created by MIT Technology and by one of their subsidiaries, right, not by the university itself. But this is the Green Index country, and these are the latest ones, right? 2021-22 country ranking. Don't look for Malaysia or if you look for Malaysia in the last column, the one in red, right? And we are apparently one of the 16 countries that could be left behind if we don't get behind the green future, right? Through our through increasing our progress and commitment towards developing a modern, clean, and innovative economy. And Taiwan is in the second category among the 20 countries that are making progress, right, in towards building a green future. So this just sets the stage for the credibility of our two speakers to share their perspectives, because Taiwan is obviously among the global leaders in going green, in creating a sustainable future for themselves, for all of us. And with that, let me bring on our first panelist, and I'm going to have Anne from Avatack to just share some opening words about herself and about the organization, and then we're going to go to Frank. Anne, the screen is yours.
Hi, good morning, Karam, and good morning to all of our participants. I'm very honored to be here. So basically, in Avatack, what I do is I bring forward market information to shape our sustainability business development. So actually, we started out with some very typical industries that suddenly started asking us for more green, more sustainable products. So for example, low VOC, so that means lower odor or toxic emissions. So our tape is usually made from solvents, so they wanted something more green. And so we developed something that is water-based, a water-based adhesive for them. And I also went to several expositions. The major one I went to in Europe actually started with this very sustainable mindset very early on. So they wanted their labels to be green so that the material on which it's adhered to can be more recyclable. So because of all of these things that we heard from our typical industries, the industries that we serve, automotive, electronics, consumer, and a lot of those things, we set up a separate initiative, especially for sustainable materials. So now what we have is a range of sustainable material alternatives. For example, biodegradable polymers. These are compostable, of course, and bio-based or biomass polymers, and also PCR or recycled polymers. So I have a video. I think it would make it clear what our company is all about.
Avatack started out in chemical manufacturing and grew to become a leading global adhesive solution provider. With more than half a century of knowledge and technology accumulation, we have developed and are experienced in precise coating technology and polymer adhesive technology. From consumer products to electronics, medical, food, and other industries, we can satisfy different customer needs while also meeting global standards in products and services through our sales network worldwide. Now, more than ever, sustainability has become a significant part of corporate goals and practices. Avatack has joined global efforts to drive transformation towards greater sustainability, from controlling resin formulation properties to applications development. We provide customers with tailor-made high-performance solutions. We are not only working to make our products greener, but also our own operations more environmentally friendly. For example, by being the first to adopt a waste solvent recovery system, we have been significantly reducing harmful emissions in our factories, thus enhancing the work environment of our employees and the general conditions around the plant area. We are able to reuse some of the solvents, which lowers our overall carbon footprint. Our manufacturing plants utilize AI for smart manufacturing at the pre, mid, and post-testing phases, as well as QR codes for product tracing that better manages the entire production process. including robotic arms and automated warehousing, we improve production efficiency and quality, thus allowing us to deliver the best product at the shortest possible time. By pairing sustainable development and digital transformation, Avatack continues innovating towards products that are in line with the most in-demand market trends, exploring infinite possibilities in eco-conscious living. Avatack's biodegradable, bio-based, and recycled materials have been certified by international certifying bodies, and our facilities are certified by ISO and recognized by EcoVadis. Our eco-friendly products have also won the Taiwan Excellence Award. By transforming ubiquitous materials like plastic into sustainable alternatives, we hope to create a positive impact on the environment, various industries, the society in general, creating a more fulfilling life for everyone. Avatack, sustainable materials for a better future.
Yes, thank you. So we actually have a poll going. So if you are online, we invite you to participate, and I would be commenting on the results later. Karam, back to you.
Okay, yep, thanks a lot, and just waiting to get on and join. That was a really well put together video, and and it's great that there are responsible companies like that out there, right, working towards profitability, but ensuring that at the same time they're respectful of the planet, the home of all of us. So that's wonderful. So now with that, thank you for opening remarks. We're going to bring Frank on, and Frank, of course, is with HCP Manufacturing. Okay, there you go. HCP pump manufacturer. So Frank, you've got 5 minutes for your opening remarks. Yeah, the screen is yours.
Yes, thank you, Karen. Thanks for your introduction. And hi, everyone. This is Frank from HCP pump manufacturer from Taiwan in Pingtung City in the south of Taiwan. So I would take maybe 2 minutes to give you a brief introduction of what we do and what we've done so far for ESG, and also what we do in our progress. Yeah. So next page. Okay. So HCP Pump is focused on manufacture in all submersible pump ranges. So as you can see, we have more than 19 series and more than 785 models. So basically, it can cover for various water applications, including from small one to 100 watts to a maximum 75 kilowatts. And as for application, as you can see for the next page. One more, yes. So you can see that basically the submersible pump can be applied in many different environments, also applications. So from seawater treatment, also in Taiwan in last year, we suffer a very drought during a summer season. So we need to find a solution for water. So we have the hyperhelic flow projects and in the south of Taiwan, and even all the Taiwan projects. And also we can apply the submersible pump in mining dewaterings, also flood control, and construction dewaterings, aquas, agricultures, for many countries like in Malaysia. And also we do have many projects in municipal wastewater treatment, also have able to apply in the industrial wastewater treatment. And also we mentioned, because last year we suffered a very severe drought, so we have to think about our take waters from a seawater desalination. So this So our pumps can be able to apply in those various applications. Okay, next page. So for HCP's ESG emissions, we do more focus on 3 parts. First is like we have to keep improving like our pump technology. Also have to create more and thinking on energy saving. Yeah, because you may know that the motor is the maybe 40 all the global energy consumption is 46% in motors. So we have to improve the efficiency and to make the energy saving on these parts. So, and also we have to think about how to use very eco-friendly materials to protect our earth and for sustainability for our future world. Yes. Next, we'll have maybe 2 minutes video we share about our HCP pump.
Welcome to HCP Pump. HCP was established in 1979 to answer the demand of the market. Today, after 4 decades of consistent growth, HCP products are not only sold in Taiwan, but also worldwide. Our aim is to provide the best pumping solutions to different fields and applications. Depending on the environment, submersible pumps differ as they are specifically designed to deal with different tasks. For instance, and therefore different types of impellers, all designed to provide different solutions.
In our daily life, we cannot operate without submersible pumps. The buildings where we drill, offices where we work, every factory, as well as every other industry, depends on the submersible pump to provide the water we all depend upon, and most of us are not aware of it. We provide 19 series with over 785 models. Our pumps can be used in a variety of applications, such as agriculture, aquaculture, construction sites, wastewater management for factories and residential buildings, landscaping, mining, and more. HCP pumps are suitable for any circumstance where water is used.
Nowadays, HCP Pump is not only a submersible pump manufacturer. We aim for delivering solutions that create a sustainable environment for water management. Our objective is to specifically address this problem by providing tailored solutions. HCP pumps are used in multiple fields, therefore contributing sustainable water management demand in relative to water recycling centers, sewage and wastewater treatment plants, seawater desalination plants, water reclamation systems, construction site dewatering, mining, irrigation, and aquaculture applications. We can make a better future. HCP Pump, make future flow.
All right, thanks for the videos, and hope that all of you have a little bit understand about HCP Pump. So next, let's welcome Karen back to this discussion.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Let's bring on Anne also, so the 3 of us are back on the screen. Okay. So what we're gonna.
I think we're having some technical difficulties. So Frank, maybe you and I can answer some of the questions that we got from the participants. Would you like to go first, or?
Sorry, because I lost the voice from Karen, so I missed the first questions.
Yeah, I think he got his connection isn't very good, so we can maybe proceed with the questions.
Good question. Maybe the question. First question.
Yes. Do you want to start?
I'm not sure what is the first question.
Or maybe I can start.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, I have some questions from the participants here, and all right. So and we're also receiving some live questions, but I think one of the things we want to address is the recycling rate. Somebody asked us how to increase the recycling rate of products, and us as a material supplier, and especially since one of our major products is labels, our viewpoint is that when you stick a label on something, usually it's hard to take off. So when the labels are stuck on to the material, for example, glass or plastic or metal, it takes the recyclers a longer time, and it lowers the value of your recyclable material. So what we have done is actually to introduce materials that can be washed off. So we have labels that are washable. So you put them underwater, and then the plastic material and the adhesive cleanly comes off your bottles, so that the bottle itself doesn't have any adhesive residue or any plastic or paper on it, so that when it enters the recycling system, the value of the material is purer. And then we also have a dissolvable label. So this is something that can be washed underwater. The paper and the adhesive can be dissolved. So this one is also something that has already been implemented, for example, for the logistics trays in 7-Eleven or some convenience stores. So this is something that will help them to reuse their trays, save them time. So of course, when we introduce something sustainable as a B2B company, primarily, what we want is to enable the business to continue being efficient. So we introduce solutions that are that make sense cost-wise, something that saves them time and also makes their operation sustainable.
So sorry, and I was going to start by saying that my so-called 500 meg lease line is being wonky today. Extremely rare it happens, but if it happens again, I'm going to reset my router. Sorry about that. But and I think you are taking the question from Suli from Curtin University, correct? Is that the answer? Was that the question you were answering?
I got this from the RSVP list.
Okay,
so
okay.
It's an initial question, yes. And I only answered one. So it's not
okay, you answered it. But before that, look, I've got two questions first, because being a journalist, you've got lots of questions, but and it's also to set the stage, right? So, this topic is about, towards a green future. So my question for both of you is that where do you think we are on a scale of 1 to 10, right, in moving towards this green future? So, Anne, you take that first, then Frank can take that question.
All right. For me, I think we are at 4 to 5, because it is a transition. And based on the feedback we got from when we started this initiative
journey
to now, because we had an expo around 3 months ago, the interest really went up, like a lot. So a lot of smaller businesses have also started asking. So now when they ask questions, they don't just ask about the price. At the start, it's about the price. Is it more expensive? How much is it? How much more expensive? But now it's more about, okay, let's do away with that. I still want to know what the solutions are. So I think we are at the going near the peak, wherein businesses are trying to understand and also seriously contemplating incorporating it into their system.
Wow, that's great. When you say expo, you're talking about the World Expo that was held in Dubai?
No. It was here in Taiwan, but it's quite a major one for food and for packaging. Yes.
Okay. Wow, great. Okay, so 4.5 is very high. I thought it would be lower, my personal opinion. But Frank, what do you think?
I think that maybe similar, like 4 to 5 for our position right now, because in pump manufacturers, like we have lots of raw materials, but we still have to thinking how to make it more efficient in make it into production. And during the production, how should we deal with those kind of waste and how to make it recycle? So so far, I think there's a long way to go, but because how to deal with those kind of waste and recycle that, we have to import more, invest more devices, and how to to invest more cost and capitals on how to deal with it. So far, I think that there's a long way to go, but we try to keep make it better. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I like your video ended with your colleague, giving the fist pump, right? Let's do it. So we got to, we got to roll up our sleeves and get to it now. Okay, now I think, and your question, I think the poll question, I think has come up, right? So are we going to pull that onto the screen, or and you'll just comment on the poll results, because you can already see them in our chat there. So are we going to see that?
If we can pull it up on screen, it would be,
that'd be better,
good for everyone to see, right? But maybe while they're working on that, I can also comment on it. I think
you can't pull it up, so please comment on it. Okay.
All right. Okay. So I think that this reflects basically what we've also gotten from the feedback here in Taiwan, from our customers in Taiwan, and also from other countries, the interest we have gotten. So basically, the understanding is that recycled materials are still the primary, right? And it's also near the cost of traditional plastics. It's not that expensive. Okay. But looking at this one, for example, which sustainable materials can replace traditional plastic? So we see here recycled materials from PCR is 35%, right? And then the next highest is, the almost equal percentage is home compostable materials made from plants. So I want to point out that this is a very important, the compostable segment is very important actually, because there are plastics wherever we don't notice actually. So for example, there are initiatives to switch from plastic cups to paper cups. But what people don't understand and maybe don't really notice is that the paper cups are actually lined with plastic. So those paper cups that people switch to, when they throw it away, they're not recyclable.
Yeah.
The paper there is not recyclable. So this is the motivation for us to do compostable materials. So if you do compostable, when you have the correct infrastructure, of course, for composting, then you are able to have an opportunity to remove these materials from the landfill. So in this sense, it's lowering plastic waste. So I think that it's a process of getting people to understand also. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
so now let me ask. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. The poll 2 is.
Poll 2. Correct.
Yeah, would be best for the environment. I think my quick answer to this is just that it depends on what's the application. Yeah.
Okay. I used to think recycling, but I now firmly believe compostable is better, right? You solve the problem from the manufacturing of the product, which is what the two of you are doing now. So that's super important, I think. And you reduce, because even to recycle also, there's a carbon footprint, right, to the recycling supply chain. So moving towards compostable would be an ideal. And I'm glad that quite a lot of people also think that it should be the best option. So we've got quite a mature and savvy audience listening in today. So cool. So Frank, I got a question for you, right? And this actually comes from Suli from Curtin University, and she's asking, how do you encourage more SMEs to participate in this kind of she used the word ESG activities, but I think in trying to create more sustainable product, right, for themselves and for their customers?
Because for small and medium enterprise, because in Taiwan, like over 97% of the company belong to the small and medium
Same
enterprise.
in Malaysia.
Yes, and So many company or even small company, they may think, how should we start? But
Yeah.
I think that should be go back to your the company's core value or their philosophy. What will they what's their goal in like maybe short term, like 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years? So if they can set up the philosophy and then can divide into maybe 3 stages: short term, mid-term, and long term. And but from my point of view, is even for small company, they don't need to, at the beginning, they don't need to like invest lots of money to improve like ESG. Maybe they can maybe change during their life. But for example, if maybe like in our daily we have lots of paper printing in our daily works. So maybe try to reduce like half at the beginning, or try to promote more on like an online conference, or you can encourage the staff to maybe turn off the lights or like air conditioner anytime if they leave the room or something else. So maybe from small things you can pick up and then to into your lives. Yeah.
Okay, so interesting.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're saying that take small steps, right? And it doesn't just have to be in the business. It could be, in your personal lives, but even in the work also, switching off lights or aircon so when you go for lunch and all that. And I think people start feeling good. And then once you start embedding that, you say, hey, what about our products? And, but definitely, creating sustainable products, going green is good business, right? I think the cost price equation, there are questions some people have asked, is it expensive and all? That was, 15 years ago, people would ask that. And that was a very important question to ask. But I think we have made so much progress now that it's a lot more doable. And like Anne was saying, right, there's so many now questions coming, how do we do it, right? And how to get started. It's no more so much about the cost. Cost is there, but you know that the market will reward you if you create products that are much more sustainable and, and respectful of the environment, when in the making and when at the end of life cycle also. So those are all super important. So now, let me just go on to a question. I'll move on to Anne now, right? And I think this was asked by Abu Zarim, and he's the founder of a company called Sweet Thought. So he says sometimes, again, right, there are concerns that being environmental is costlier, right? For example, F&B, where you got green earth packaging, far more expensive than the unbiodegradable. So any tips on how to get this right and how to improve on this?
All right. So I think this one is we need to think about the upstream and the downstream, the whole value chain. So for example, the cost of biodegradable products, the reason why it's high is because the raw materials are fewer. So once the production for these raw materials ramp up, then the cost will become lower. So the some of the policies or techniques that we've seen here is that for a product range, a company will introduce a smaller portion that is sustainable, or maybe display some sustainable products together with their traditional products. And then they see how the customer accepts this. And then when the customer is more and more able to accept, because, it's not just the cost, it's also performance. It's different. So, for example, when you have something biodegradable, you produce it, it has a shelf life, of course. When it's stored in a warehouse where it's hot, it's going to have degraded properties. And then by the time the customers get it, it might not perform exactly the same as a conventional bag. And if, consumers have habits, and if it is so far from what they're used to, they might think that, this isn't a viable solution. But what we've seen from policies in other countries is that they put in the material alternatives in a specific application. For example, single-use plastics. Before, what they do is that they ban plastics. But in Australia and Europe, what they're trying to do now is provide compostable bags for groceries or trash liners. So after it's filled, you take it out and maybe you put it into the green bin, your compostable bin, your backyard, composting bin, like that. So for that case, it's always, you have to think about the stakeholders, upstream, downstream, consumer acceptance. Yes, it is costly now, but it won't always be like that. It will take time.
Okay. So, by the way, thanks, Frank. I think, thank you, right? And by the way, I think when Frank was answering that question about how to get SMEs and taking small steps, actually Simon Wong, right, the general manager of the Malaysian Retail Chain Association, asked that same question, right? He's asking how to start the small steps, but I think Frank already gave his point of view. Do you have anything else to add about what Simon was asking about? How do you start with small steps? And I think he's probably he means like businesses, right, from a business point of view. And is it what you just said, by the way, which is
I can add to it.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. What we've seen, because here we've started getting more inquiries from businesses actually, and what they are trying to do is make their logistics more green. So, for example, the tapes that they use for their shipping boxes, or the stretch wrap, for the pallets, and you put boxes on top of each other, and then you use a stretch wrap. We make compostable versions of that, or PCR versions of that. Our tape is also PCR. We have a PCR version, RPT. We can pair it with a water-based adhesive, or a repulpable adhesive, or a compostable adhesive. So depending on their target cost and performance, yes, we can.
Interesting. So lots of things that can be done. So let me just move on to and I think this is a tough question, right? And Frank, thank you for taking this on. And this is actually from a member of parliament from Malaysia, right? Huang, and he's actually a member of parliament for Penang, the state where I grew up and spent most of my life. So, and he's an MP. Huang is asking, can you list 3 green policies in Taiwan that could be adapted in Malaysia?
Well, that's a very, very big question.
Yeah.
But I think I think Malaysia is quite doing good, but if have the experience from Taiwan, maybe there are 3 ways can be referenced. So first one will be like set up a carbon reduction targets for like greenhouse emissions. For example, it's like in Taiwan that we have set up the greenhouse gas emission to reduce like 50% by 2050, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so, 2050. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a long way, but at least we have this goal set up there, and then every short term, long term, how should we achieve it? So and also we in Taiwan, especially like Taiwan Environmental Protection Administration, they already made some guidelines and also like a control program to let the enterprise to follow. Yeah. So especially they target in some fields like energy, manufacture, also commercial building, agricultures, or environmental management. Because the government already set up this the guidelines, so that the companies can have a very clear goal to achieve. And second one will it's a little bit tricky compared to Taiwan, because we have to participate in the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change, and also have to attend the Paris Agreement, because Taiwan's position right now is the politics and the economic position now in the global. So right now we cannot join the UNFCCC and Paris Agreement.
Correct.
So in the future we still trying to make it because if we cannot join these Paris agreements, we couldn't improve our like high technologies, also to improve, make it better to could connect with all the supply chain for globally. So yeah, I would suggest if Malaysia can able to participate in the Paris agreements, it will be better. And last one would be a very constructive partner in addressing climate change, because Taiwan is a very competitive on the green technology. We have lots of very reliable and competitive companies to have this green technology.
Correct.
And so we, besides of that, we have this kind of technologies support, but we do have lots of like financial support from government. So it would be if for parliaments, they should also invest more or have this maybe budgets to invest and to help the small and medium enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. Look, there are questions already coming in from the audience or listening in live. I'm gonna let the two of you decide if you want to take any of those, because there's a bunch there. But I will have a question now for Anne. You can take this question right away, or you want to look at some of those that are coming in. And actually, this is about. It seems, Anne, very straightforward, right? The question is from Mary Agnes, and it's about what do consumers, right, need to understand about green products. So, at a high level, you think that green products are, of course, very good for the environment and slightly costly. But people are willing to make that commitment. But she's asking, what do they need to understand about green products? So, from your perspective, how would you answer this question?
All right. So, I think that for consumers, I always encourage them to ask why. Why is it green?
Why?
Right?
Interesting.
Why? So, for example, because there might be a lot of products coming in right now, especially because this is a very hot topic, right?
Oh, yes.
So they label a lot of things green. They say everything sustainable,
yes.
Right? But you always have to ask yourself why. So, for example, like what I said a while ago with the cups, if it's paper but it's lined with plastic, is it green? Right? It's not. So for example, for us in Taiwan, I would also like to add to the question a while ago that you also gave, Frank. One of the policies that was implemented here in Taiwan was to differentiate the plastics better. So before, all plastics go together. Yeah.
Wow,
so recently, I think in the past year, what they did was they separated the clear and white plastic. So clear would be the PET bottles, white would be the PE bottles from the colored ones. So this enables the recyclers to create a higher recycling rate, reach a higher recycling rate. So for consumers, for example, when they get something that is recyclable and then they throw it, they also have to think, okay, where this goes? Why am I putting it in this bin? Because I see some people, they just throw whatever in, they don't think about where they're putting it. So when you purchase something, you always ask, why is it green? And then when you do dispose of it, you think about where you will dispose of it properly.
Yes. Okay, interesting. I think I was telling my son yesterday, it is very embarrassing that, with us, being aware of being environment conscious, yet when we throw our empty bottles out, we wash and rinse them, but we put bottles and plastics right together. And I was telling him, and why don't we have those small bins, right, that shows for bottle? We don't. And it was very, and I told my son yesterday, I said, today we got to go out and buy those special bins, right? And it's a very physical then reminder that you have to play your role, because you're right, I've been guilty of just throwing things together. And is not acceptable. And I like what you're saying, and I think we have to educate ourselves as consumers also, right, and ask these questions for sure, because I think there's a lot of greenwashing also. Greenwashing could be companies, right, putting on a veneer of sustainability, right, and environment friendliness to their products, and all of us have to educate ourselves. No choice. Just like how all of us are educating ourselves on social media, there's so much fake news coming, and I start seeing people getting a bit more cynical or questioning. Hey, are you sure? This and that. When start questioning, that's good, right? It's taken a long time, but we have to move on and help ourselves also, so that then we can play a better role. So thanks a lot. So that was a good question, and thanks for the answer. Now, I do have a question for Frank, but Frank, do you want to take any of the questions that have come from the audience also first before I ask the question?
Yeah, I think I can pick up two and once answer it at one time.
Sure, great, go ahead.
Question is like, does our pumps contribute to resolve the climate change?
I knew you were going to take that question.
Yeah, and also another one is like, from our views of opinions, what are the ways to resolve the ESG issue?
Okay.
Because the pump is a very electric consuming product. Yeah. So how should we do? Is like, we have to improve the efficiency of the pump. And how should we do? There are lots of respect to consider, like maybe design. From the design team, they have to find a good design in motors, in assembly, in raw material, and also maybe not just the technical department team. They maybe our assembly team. They also have to think about how should we make it simple in our production? How do we make less waste during the assembly or manufacture? So, and from another point, we should come back down to another point. Is like we can do from education and training. So if you have more training or education on your staff or employees, and they can make more efficient, productive on all the process. So it can be reflect on all the cost of the waste, and also it can improve our quality of products or less waste during the production. So I think that training and education would be, from the beginning, is a key point of to maybe resolve the ESG. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I think what companies can do also, and this is just a reverse logistics, right? Which means that when a customer wants to change the product, or even if their existing pump has wear and tear, they've used it for 10 years, right? Let's say a HCP pump, they want to change it. Instead of throwing it away, if there's an incentive from HCP that, hey, when you send it back and when you then buy from us, of course you have to buy from us, there's a 5% discount. So that encourages people to bring the whole thing in, right? And it doesn't go into the waste fill. So, and if companies can bake that into the business model, that would be great. So small steps, like you said, right? Or even 3%, doesn't have to be 5%. Hey, why is he saying 5%? Okay, 2.5%. So customer will say it's worth it. So, there are things that can be done. But anyway, okay. So, Anne, do you want to take any question from that is coming in now, or shall I go with one of the questions that we already have from our early audience? Letting you choose if you want. Otherwise, I'll have questions then.
I think I could answer the one from Ras Nurhumeira. Could you share some global trends on moving towards a green future?
Okay, all right.
Yes. So what we've seen is, for each country, it's a little bit different. So, for example, in Japan, because they're very health conscious, they're very clean, right? The culture. So they're less inclined to accept recycled alternatives, and so they prefer more of biomass. So in that sense, they're going for more of the plant-based incorporation. So in this sense, it's a carbon neutral approach. So the
okay.
plants take in carbon, and
Yeah.
then they utilize the plants, and then dispose of it like that. And then for Europe and Australia, it's 50-50, I think, between recycled and compostable. So for them, it's more of what application you have. But it's very heavy on recycled, because I think that their major problem is a few years ago, China stopped accepting
Oh yes, their waste. Yes.
from other countries.
Plastic
So
waste.
this is a very big problem for them. And so because of that, they've implemented a lot of things. So one is to increase the recycling rate. The other
Correct.
one is to increase the amount of recycled materials.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the third is they have a carbon. They have a plastic tax. So if you have too much plastic waste, you need to pay for that per country.
Understood.
Yes.
That's great.
So yes, that's those are the very interesting things we've seen so far.
Yeah. I hope Bangladesh implements the same thing, right? Because now a lot of the waste that was going to China, now those boats have diverted to Bangladesh. So Bangladesh has to do the same and say we're going to stop in 5 years, maybe give a time frame, and it's going to force people to adapt. And what Europe did, right? Europe adapted, and I'm sure all countries can adapt, because the human being with this is the best computer on the planet, right? Put this to work, and we can solve these problems. Okay, sorry, and go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. You mentioned something, and it reminded me of one very interesting point in China, because of the way that they made this decision. So all of their waste are actually kept inside their country, right? So it led to them producing better quality cardboard.
Yeah.
Because a better quality cardboard can be recycled more.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they wanted, because of that. So there's this trend towards using better tapes. So in the U.S., what's popular, especially if you order from Amazon, they use a tape that is water. They use a gum tape. So it goes with the recycling process. So you can recover a lot more of your material and redo the cardboard box. Yeah.
Fantastic. A lot of positive things are happening. And look, we are winding down now, but I think there's one very important question that somebody has asked, and I want to put it to both of you. And this is from Hannah Kaur, director with Waterville. And what are the challenges of marketing green products? Can both of you share from your company's perspective? And then we'll move on to your key takeaway. Maybe Frank first.
Sorry?
Oh no, the question is about what are the challenges of marketing green products?
Marketing green products for HCP, it's because to do a global marketing for global brands is hard. But I think, luckily in Taiwan we have the Taiwan Excellence channels or programs. So that is a good platform that we can market into globally. But for other countries, I think they must have the similar channels that to promote for their products, especially green technology. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Okay, and you're gonna take this question about the challenges in marketing green products.
Yeah, of course. I think what we found, in order to differentiate us from the very real trend of having everything sustainable and having some greenwashing, events there, is to offer evidence-based marketing. So whenever we introduce a product, we always have a certification. So these certifications take time. They go through lab testing, and then you can look it up. Actually, for example, we have a DIN Circle certification for our compostable products. If you go to the DIN Circle website, you will find our company name, what products we have registered or tested with them, and so this makes it more authentic, I think. So as a material supplier, it's very important for us. Our customers also ask for that. So that's how we do the green marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Karam's connection.
Yes.
So,
okay. Sorry, and
yes.
Yeah. So thank you. I heard you, but I was backstage and then I got kicked out. Sorry about that, everyone. My apologies. But look, now it's just a good time. We're going to end the show. But first of all, I want to end by having each of you give your key takeaways, right, that you want the audience to take with them from today's show conversation. So, Frank, what would your key takeaway be for our audience?
From my point of view, as you want to many enterprises want to go to the ESG, but I think to set up a achievable goal is very important to see each company's their goals in maybe 5 years. So set up the achievable goal is very important, and have to be very connect with their core value. So do not just greenwashing to be able to get this maybe green, so they put into the wrong direction. Yeah.
Understood. So when you say core values, I think you're asking people to be genuine, to be authentic, which is very important in business. Okay. And for you, your key takeaway for the audience?
Okay, I have two. Actually, one is always be patient. So you need to take into consideration the upstream and downstream. How ready are the raw material suppliers? How ready is the consumer? Are they ready to change their behavior? And two is to always hone your capability. So there's a lot of technology involved actually in providing sustainable materials, and we need all the help we can get worldwide in order to develop the right solutions for the right applications. So those are my two takeaways.
Okay, great. Those are great. Very interesting discussion. Very good questions coming in also. And but before we end, I just want to remind, thank you everyone for joining us and for staying with us and not being like me, jumping in and out again, getting kicked out by my broadband. But one more exciting event, right, which we mentioned at the beginning, the Taiwan Excellence is participating as one of the key players in our iGEM 2022 from October 12 to 14, which is just next week. And they're going to be at the Hall 1, their pavilion is in Hall 1 and booth 1075. And they're going to be showcasing eco-innovation from 10 Taiwan Excellence award-winning companies. And aside from the product showcase, as long as you visit their booth, you have a chance to win a Johnson Fitness treadmill. And I hope that includes me also, because I'll be going and trying my luck to win the treadmill. So all of you just visit the Taiwan Excellence Facebook page, which is Taiwan Excellence.my. You can find out more, and there's a link. There's going to be a link in the box here. You can click and register now right away. So thank you all again for joining us and staying with us, and we hope to see you again next time. Thank you, and thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The earth gives life to everything. But she is mistreated and scarred. Facing this encumbered world, we aim to re-explore, to feel, to perceive, to create new possibilities. Therefore, we seek hope in natural materials and waste, in every mountain, every stream, and every pebble. To revamp, reconstruct, rebuild, and re-innovate. greener decisions, we can protect the environment, and the world can be a better place. Taiwan Excellence. Everyday excellence.